If you've been trying to publish your digital products on Gumroad and everything just looks confusing, I get it, because most beginners actually get stuck somewhere, whether it's the setup, the payment part, how to upload your product, or even figuring out which button does what. And the crazy part is that most of the tutorials online just assumes that you already know the basics. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire process step by step in a way that actually makes sense. The first thing you want to do is you want to head over to gumroad.com and create an account if you did not have one already. So here is Gumroad, and I'm just going to click on Start Selling. It will take me to this point where I can actually sign up. You can either create an account directly with Facebook, Google, X, or Stripe, or you simply enter your email and password. I'm just going to use one of my Gmail accounts to sign up. So now they've sent me a two-factor authentication so that I can actually protect the account. This is just like basic steps. I've logged in now, and the sign-up process is pretty much simple. It takes less than a minute. And in my Gumroad dashboard, you can see I have home, product, collaboration, checkout, and a few other things. Don't worry, I'm going to be walking you through each of them step by step, what they do and how you can set them all up the right way. In the home area, this is where you have your dashboard, where you have all of the things you need to do. So you can see we've made a Gumroad account, check. We need to customize our profile. You can see create your first product, get your first follower, make your first sale, and the likes. If we scroll all the way down, we'll be able to see our activity, which is our total balance at the time, the amount we have, or the amount that we've received in the last 7 days, the amount we've received in the last 28 days, and of course, the total earnings from using Gumroad. The next thing you want to do is to choose a good username. Your username will actually affect your URL whenever you are sharing your Gumroad link. So you want to go to settings and you want to go to profile. And on our profile, that's where you have your username. You can see it already changes it to free intel. If you want something else, you can change it just as you please, but you want to keep it short and super simple. And as you can see below, view your profile at freeintel.gumroad.com. So if I change it to something else, it will be whatever I change it to .gumroad.com. The name here is the Finance Intel. You may want to change it to your actual name just in case. The bio, this is where you may want to write a few things about yourself, something that best describes you. So I can just write something here. Here is where you want to add your logo if you have one. If you don't have one, it's not really important. You may also want to connect your social account. You can connect your X account here. Of course, here's where you change the font and just like basic editing, the background color and the likes. The next thing you want to do is you want to set up your payment. Now, this is a very important part because this is where most people get stuck. Now, setting up your payment details is super important because when people start buying your digital product and start making money with Gumroad, you want to have where you can be able to receive it fast. To do that, you want to head over to settings. Again, you want to go to payments. And here is where you are going to choose the country you reside. Now, this is super important because you don't just want to choose any country. You want to choose the country you currently live and reside. You can see you are asked to check off each item, that you have proof of residence within the country, you have a valid government issued photo ID. And you can see a small note below that you may have to forfeit your balance if you want to change your country in the future. So I'm also going to click this, that if I'm signing up as a business, it is registered in the country above, and I'm going to click on save. Now, you can see the verification part is that my account has been verified. For your payout schedule, you can decide when your payout should always come, whether you want it daily, whether you want it weekly, monthly, or quarterly. I can leave it as weekly. Then your minimum payout threshold, you can set it to any amount. That means the payout will be issued once your balance reaches this amount. You can set it to $100, $50, $500, or as small as $10. So your payout threshold must at least be $10. So I'm going to leave it at $10. Now, in the payout method, this is where you can add your bank account. Now, a lot of people ask me, do you pay in order to use the Gumroad platform? You do not pay. Instead, Gumroad only takes a portion from whenever you make a sale. So as you can see here, all sales will incur fees based on how customer finds your product. So if you make a direct sale, probably you send your link to someone and the person clicks the link and of course, the person buys your product. These are the fees that are incurred, but they are taken out of the sales you make. So what you incur is 10% of the amount for the sale, then plus 50 cents, which is $0.5 Gumroad fee for the transaction, plus 2.9% for the payment processing fee plus 30 cents, which is 0.3 US dollar credit card fee. Now, this may actually vary depending on the location and based on the payment pattern that your customer uses, whether it's credit card, whatever. While the Discover sale is usually higher, the Discover sale is when customers actually find your product on the Gumroad marketplace, and the fees incurred are 30% flat, meaning that if your product costs $10, Gumroad is going to take 30% of that $10, which is approximately $3. Now, this is where you're going to add your bank details. This is where you add the name of your account. Make sure that your account name must exactly match the name of your bank account. This is where you're going to add your Swift BIC code. If you do not know that, you can actually search online or go to your bank just to be certain. Then you want to add your account number, confirm your account number. Then you want to choose the account type. Now, what kind of account should you use? If you are selling as yourself, for example, I just opened this account as myself, then you want to choose individual. However, if you're selling it as a business, you're a registered business, then you want to choose business account type. Again, you want to include your first and last name. Make sure it is the same as it appears on your ID. Again, you want to add your address, your city, your postal code, and your country. Make sure all of these things are actually correct so that it doesn't give you any form of difficulty trying to change it much later. You also want to add your phone number, your date of birth, your month, and the year. Now, if you want to be paid through PayPal, you may also want to connect a personal or business PayPal, which will allow you to accept payments with PayPal. Now, for PayPal, all the sales will incur fee also based on how customer finds your product. For PayPal, you have just direct sales, that's 10% plus 50 cents, while the Discover sales is 30% flat. And all of this are taken from, of course, your Gumroad balance. Now, there's a little bit of thingy here. If you want to connect your PayPal account, you must meet the requirement. Your account must be marked as compliant. You must have earned at least $100 and you must have received at least one successful payout. So it's just as simple as that. So now I've gone ahead to add my bank details, the account type, and fill in every necessary thing as it regards my ID. Now, the next step is adding your product on Gumroad. Now, this is the heart of the tutorial, because how can you get paid if people do not buy your product, and how can they buy if your product has not been uploaded to Gumroad? So you want to head over to product and you want to click on new product. Now, this is where you are going to decide the type of the product, whether it's a digital product, whether it's a course or a tutorial, whether it's an ebook that comes in a PDF format, whether it's a membership, whether it's a bundle. That's where you are selling 2 or more existing products for a new price. There are also services, but if you're just signing up on Gumroad, the service products are usually disabled until your account is about 30 days old. So as you can see, digital products and ebooks are separated. So if you are uploading an ebook, you want to click ebook, or you can use digital products, whichever it works for you. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using this as the product I would like to upload to Gumroad. This is the Glow Girl Guide, and don't worry, I'm going to be showing you how I was able to create this particular ebook step by step, from the cover page to the copyright page to the table of content that is actually clickable, then every of the pages. I'm going to show you how to do that much later. So I'm going to be uploading this product to Gumroad. Now, on ebook, I'm going to name the product as Glow Girl Guide. Get clearer skin without expensive products or complicated routines. Then here for the pricing, this is where you want to add the pricing of your product. Now, at this point, it totally depends on you and the value you place on the product. However, given the rate of Gumroad's fees, you also want to take into cognizance of that when you're pricing your product, because the price that is on your product is not your take-home price, because Gumroad will take their fees. So you may want to price that with that thought in mind. So let's take, for example, I'm just taking it at $15. You don't want to overprice your product just because of that. And I'm going to click next, which is customize. Now, this is where I'm going to add the description of the product, meaning what is this product about? This is what people will read for them to understand more details about the product. So I have already gotten the description of the camera, and I'm going to just go ahead and add it here. You want to be very detailed in terms of what they will discover in the guide, what the guide is about, what they can expect, the results that they hope to achieve, everything that would actually be convincing to someone. Now, once all that is done, you can also decide to customize your URL. So vintel.gumroad.com/ you can decide to say Glow Girl. That will be the URL for this particular product. For the cover page, this is where you want to upload the cover image of your ebook or your digital product. Like I said, you want to already have set up the ebook and the cover page as well. So I've gone ahead to add the cover, and for the cover, your cover should be at least 1280 by 720 pixels. For the thumbnail, your thumbnail should be square, which should be at least 600 by 600 pixels in JPG, PNG, or GIF format. Now, under the product info, this is where you're going to add your call to action. Your call to action is simply what is going to excite people to want to click to say, okay, let me download this product. It could be as interesting as, oh, I want this. It could be buy this, it could be pay. So I'm going to leave it as I want this, because this is much more exciting to hear. Now, for the summary, this is where you can summarize everything that your product contains. If you are getting an ebook plus a checklist and a few other things, you are going to add that here. If you are just going to get an ebook, you also want to state that here. So for the summary, I'm saying that you will get a digital PDF ebook containing 10 comprehensive principles plus actionable conclusions to aid your journey to a healthy and clear skin. Now, additional details, this is not really necessary, but if you want to add that, you can say for the pages, it contains a number of pages. I can say 44 pages here. If you want to add any extra detail, you can click add detail and say whatever thing else, whether color, size, whatever, but it's not really necessary. Then for the integration, you can choose to invite your customers to your Gumroad community. If you have a Gumroad community, you can choose that your customer will be invited to a Circle community if you have one, or you can choose to invite your customers to a Discord server if we have one. In this case, I'm going to leave all of this unchecked because, of course, it's not so necessary, especially if you are a beginner. Your plan is just to set up and start getting paid as quick as possible. So this is the amount, $15. Now for the pricing, you can either choose a fixed price, which in this case is $15, or you can choose pay what you want. Now, saying a customer should pay what they want is just like saying, okay, pay based on whatever value you see on the product. So if they want to get the product and they feel, okay, I think the value is worth $1, they can pay $1. If they feel, okay, I think the value may be worth $20 because I really want this ebook, they can pay $20. But in this case, this is usually good if you're just actually creating a freebie, but you want people to make some sort of commitment before they get the product. But you want to sell your digital product and make the best out of it in terms of income, you want to add a fixed price. You can also say if customers can pay in installment. This is if your product is a high ticket product. For example, a $150 product, a $500 product, maybe a course. And of course, since you feel that your customers may not be able to pay all at once, so instead of that discouraging them, you allow for them to pay in installments. So when they pay in installments, they can add how much they want to be paying monthly. So in this case, this is like a low ticket offer, it's just $15. And of course, we're just going to leave it at fixed pricing. Now for the versions, this is when you have variations of this product. When you want to sweeten the deal, you can click here to add all of that just for your customers to be well aware. But in this case, I do not need that, so I'm going to remove it. Now here's where you want to set up a little itty bitty things. For example, you can decide to limit product sales. This is good if you are actually trying to exert some form of urgency, saying, okay, only just 5 people can get the product right now. So you can click limit product sales, meaning that only 10 people can purchase this product, only 5 people can purchase this product. Then you can also allow customers to choose a quantity. Probably they want to buy 2 of it or 3 of it. But in this case, it's a digital product and it's not really necessary. You can also decide to show publicly the number of sales on your product page. This is actually good if you want to also, encourage more people to buy and you've had quite a very tangible number of sales. Probably you have 500 sales already on that digital product. You could tell to people that if people are actually buying this product, then this product should be worth it. It's also a form of trying to convince people to buy. But if you are just starting out, that is totally not necessary. Then you can also decide to mark the product as an e-publication for VAT purposes. You can decide to specify a refund policy for this product. And you can decide to require shipping information. If it's a product that some of the details can be shipped, probably you offer a freebie alongside this product, you can require or you can add that customers add their shipping information. Then your custom domain is, if you have a custom domain name, you can also add that here, but if you don't, it's totally not really necessary. Now, once all that is said and done, you want to click save and continue. Once you click on save and continue, it will take you to the point where you want to add the content. Now, you can either decide to type the content over here. However, I would always suggest that you already have it in an already existing format, probably like a PDF. This is just for the better, proper formatting and the better reading experience. So since we already have ours as a PDF version, we're going to just simply insert it. I'm going to click over here, and this is where I'm going to upload it from my computer system. So now I have already uploaded the Glow Girl guide into Gumroad here. And the next thing I'm going to do is publish and continue. So just like that, your product has been published and you can decide to start sharing it. How do you share it? You want to click on copy URL. This is the URL where you can share wherever on your social media platform. Add to your ads, share to a friend or someone you know would need the product. And once the person clicks on the link, it will take the person straight to your landing page on Gumroad. So you can see this is how it's going to look like. It's $15 Glow Girl guide. This is it over here. This is what they will get. This is the summary. The pages is 44 pages. And this is where they can read a little bit more about what your product is about and why they should buy it. Now, once they have decided that, oh, I love this product, I think I want to check it out, they want to go ahead and click, I want this. Once they click, I want this, it's going to take them to this point where, of course, this is their total, this is the VAT, this is everything here, where they can input their email address, their contact information, optional if they have a tin. Then they can also decide to add a tip if they want, and they will go ahead and pay. Once they go ahead to pay, it's going to reflect in your Gumroad balance to say you have received a sale. So now that your product is published already, you can decide to make edits much later. For example, in terms of the category under Gumroad Discover, because Gumroad does have a marketplace where people can actually go there and by chance they can also discover your product. So in order to optimize your product so you get as much sales from different corners as possible, one of the ways you can do that is by sorting out the category so people find your product better. Now, this is more about skincare, health, beauty sort of. So I'm going to leave it under fitness and health. Then for the tag, you want to add some tags. This would help to better show your product to people when they are searching for products based on unique tags. For example, I can say beauty, I can say skincare, I can say face care, I can say skin health, I can say beauty remedies. So you want to add the tags that will best describe it. Now, you can also choose to display your product 1 to 5 star rating to prospective customers. This is good if you've already had some really good ratings and people have already been buying your product. It can also help to signal to prospects that your product is actually worth checking out. But if you're a total beginner, you haven't had anybody buy or rate your product yet, then it's not really necessary. Remember, you can always update this much later as more ratings starts coming in. Now, if it's an only adult kind of product, you can tick this here to signify that the product contains content meant only for adults. If your content does not contain any adult explicit image or text, then it's totally not necessary. Again, I can decide to save changes, and that would save based on whatever changes that I have made. Now on collaborators, this is simply where you can share your revenue with people who helped create your product. Probably you wrote a full course and it was you and someone else. You can add that here. But if you're the only one that's creating your product, then there's absolutely no need for that. For the checkout, this is where you can offer discounts to people for your product. So you can click on new discounts. You can say, okay, I'm having a Black Friday or I'm having a Christmas sale. Then you can choose your discount code here. Then the product that you want the discount to be on, you can click it, probably the Glow Girl guide. So you can choose either a fixed amount like 12.99 or a percentage to say, oh, we have 20% off. In the settings, you can decide to limit quantity as well. This is good to also boost urgency to say, oh, this discount 20% off, I'm only giving it to the first 5% that gets today. So this will help you to actually be able to achieve that. You can also limit the validity period, meaning that this discount code cannot be valid after a certain day, meaning that if the discount is just for like a day, by tomorrow, they won't be able to use the discount code. You can also set a minimum qualifying amount, This is actually better used when you are doing the pay what you want category instead of a fixed price. So because you say pay what you want, some people can choose to pay $1, they can choose to pay 50 cents if that is possible. So you can set a minimum qualifying amount to say nothing less than $2, nothing less than $3. So that's also good. Then you can also set a minimum quantity, meaning people cannot purchase more than a particular quantity, meaning either they just purchase one or they just purchase two. But since it's a digital product, it's totally not necessary because obviously people are just purchasing one. So now that we have for the discount for the checkout forms, what we have here is where you can actually customize your checkout form. So you can add custom fields to get more information for your customers. For example, you can add things like their phone number, their age, their date of birth, and you can actually tailor this to a certain product. This is actually good if you're trying to collect some more data on your customers, probably to understand your audience better. Now for the discount, you can either choose that a discount code field should appear in your checkout form, but only if a discount is available. Or if there's no discount available, you can choose never. So you may want to do this. This is more preferable. So again, you can have more like this recommendation. This is where Gumroad can be able to recommend more of your product during checkout. And this actually helps to boost your sales in the long run. So you can say either don't recommend any product, or you can say recommend my product, or you can say recommend my products and products I'm an affiliate of, or you can say recommend all products and any commission with Gumroad affiliates. In this case, I would actually advise that you recommend your products because that is what you can vouch for at the time. Again, you can also choose whether they can tip you. If you looked at our checkout page, you could see where they said add a tip. So you can choose that customers can add tips to their orders, or you can just leave it like that if you actually do not need that at the time. And once you have done that, you can save changes. Now, another feature Gumroad has also in the checkout page is upsells. Now, upsells allow you to suggest additional products to your customers at checkout. Now, the unique thing about upsell is that you can actually tailor the products you want to upsell. Again, you can just click on new upsell and you can create the upsell here. Then the offer text, you can create your offer description on what they will enjoy when they actually buy the upsell product. Then you can choose the status as live. For the type of offer, you can choose either to add another product to the cart, replace the selected product with another product, replace the version selected with another version of the same product. In this case, the best one is just to add another product to the cart because that way you are making more money. Now, you can say apply this product, so you can then tick the product you want to upsell. Now, for the products to offer, you can also choose that here. In this case, we have just one digital product, so that's why it's showing only the Glow Girl Guide. You can also choose to add discount to the offer product just to boost conversion. So once all that is said and done, you can click on save. Now for the emails, this is where you will be able to connect with your customers. So you can send email broadcasts from Gumroad directly. You can use their powerful automated workflow to connect and grow your audience. So if you want to click a new email, you can just click that here and you will be able to type an email and you can publish it or schedule it, and your emails will be sent out to your customers. Now for the workflows, this is basically allowing you to send scheduled emails to a subset of your audience based on a trigger. So you can decide to create new workflow based on what you want. You can see some examples of workflow here is that a subscriber purchases your product, you can send an automated email. Gumroad can actually aid you in doing that. Or if someone subscribes to your email list, they get an automated email instead of you manually typing it. If a customer cancels their member subscription, you can also send an automated email also instead of typing it manually every single time. They also have for the new affiliate when someone becomes an affiliate of yours. So these are a few workflows that Gumroad actually has. Now for the sales, every of your sales starts coming here. So when someone buys your digital product, pays for it, you're going to see the sales list here. You're going to see their email, their name, and the product they bought, as well as the amount. For the analytics, this is where you are able to track your sales, your views, and the total. This will enable you to know how far you're going, what is working, what's not working, how many people are seeing your Gumroad landing page, what is the sales you've made, and the total amount you've made. If you scroll down, you can also see referral. in case it's for affiliates, and you can also see based on the locations where they are buying from. For the payouts, this is where you can actually get paid. So once your balance reaches $10, then you're going to start getting paid, and this is where you're going to see all of your payouts. This is the discover here, where you get to discover Gumroad digital products, and you can also discover other digital products here. So this is the Gumroad discover, where people can actually also come here and find your digital products. And just like that, I've walked you through how to upload your product, how to set up the necessary things, and what is actually important for you as a beginner. Now, you don't have to wait for it to be perfect. You don't have to have every single thing set up so perfectly. You just want to set out the major things like your payout settings, and you want to just publish. You can always update every other thing later. The most important thing is getting the product live so you can start sharing it. Now, I said I was going to show you how I created this product, which we actually uploaded on Gumroad, from the start to the finish, the table of content, how I even made the table of content interactive, such that if I click principle 1, it takes me to principle 1. So you want to click the video you see on your screen right now to watch how I created this product. Ciao.